too much. No, get it, girl. Bestie
Hey, welcome to Bestie Therapy, where we talk about all the therapy going on in all of our lives. I'm Persephone and I'm Riles. Let's spill the tea. Ooh, yeah, you may have all noticed that this is just Riles. Wow, that's funny. I can still laugh at myself. How great is that? Me and Persephone actually were unable to meet this week. So we are doing our own little chats in our own little corners of our rooms or basements or houses. Don't matter really. But we are doing our own conversation with y'all on our own time, which is cool. This might be a thing that happens from time to time because we both are very busy people and we have many things going on, including work, projects, commitments that we made to other people. So there's going to be some weeks where we're going to have to film or record our own little alone conversations, alone in my thoughts. We're going to have to do that a few times. So don't be too freaked out if you only hear one of us doing the intro and one of us doing the goodbyesies. Um, so this is just how it will be. Little small update. I'm going to Drummond Island this weekend with my family. I'm very excited about that. It's in the Upper Peninsula and I'm about to have a great weekend. Just chillaxing, not worrying about anything, but that's like a lie because I'll probably be worrying about a lot of things, and that's why I need a vacation. Yay! So with that said, let's see. Other updates. Just been working on a lot of projects, you all, and working. Did I just say you all? I meant to say y'all, but it came out as you all. Interesting. Yeah. So just did some filming on Sunday. I don't think I'm supposed to like say what it is. I'm not really sure. I have no idea. I could be completely wrong about it. But I did some filming on Sunday for a short film, and we're filming today for our short film. And just like I said, working on a lot of projects. There's going to be a lot of good things coming, you guys. A lot of good things. So you better be ready, and it will be up on Kerrigan Productions. I have made the YouTube, but nothing is on it yet, so I haven't really like promoted it. But I will be adding some stuff on there. You will be able to find the Angelic album on there. I just have to upload it on YouTube. But for now, you can still find Angelic on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple if you look up Angelic/Riles. It's on other streaming platforms as well, Pandora, Amazon Music, yada yada yada. You know all the goods. So still go ahead and listen to that, Angels, because it's so great. In my opinion, I mean, I know I like it. I hope you do too. But it's okay if you don't. Like, I'm not worried about that. That's a lie. No, I'm kidding. Well, all right. So for our topic of conversation today, me and Per have talked about what would we go back and change if we were time travelers. I'm gonna probably like expand on like one thing, maybe two things. I might even talk about what I would do for the future if I could, choose it. Because I mean, we technically can choose our future, but at the same time, like we don't. It's like weird. Like we have plans, but then it doesn't work out that way. Or for some people, it does work out that way. It depends on how it goes for you and how you plan it. It might not even last forever, but people still got to have a plan. So I guess if I were to go back in time, not the future, if I were to go back in the past, I think I would have more grace for myself or towards myself, not for. And what I mean by that is like I was so hard on myself for things that were like out of my control. I thought like a lot of like there was some times where I thought things were like my fault. And well, I think I just hit something there. I'm not saying that I'm like a perfect person. Like I definitely like made my mistakes in college. And I definitely like I know I hurt people, and I know like I was a really loud roommate cuz I was a theater major. I know there was a lot of things that like I like hold. I don't know if guilt is the right word, but I go back and I go like, "Oh, I wish like I like wasn't like that, or I wish this." And it's like honestly like that's like me right now being like hard on myself for like things that were just like my personality. And I wish back in the day, like a few years ago, that I wasn't like so hard on myself. Now, should I have like been more mindful of some of this stuff? Like 100%. I don't have to be singing 24/7. I didn't have to be like, I wasn't like crazy all the time. I was just, I tried to be like a fun loving person in spirit. Of course, had my moments where I wasn't. But I definitely like let the opinions of others really like affect me, where I was letting their opinions go into my mind instead of, asking myself about how I feel about myself. I hope that made sense. I think it made sense. Because I definitely didn't really do that. There was a few instances where like I would just be so angry at like other people because I felt that they hated me, and I felt like I wasn't good enough for them. And there was a friend group that I was in where towards the end of it that actually started to become true. And I didn't like really know what was happening. I'm not mad about that anymore. I was really mad about it at the time. And I didn't give any grace to myself. I just kept being mean to myself instead of like asking them, hey, like, can we talk? And there were times where I did ask, like, hey, what's wrong? But I didn't ask the whole group. I asked like one person in the group, whereas I should have like went to the whole like friend group and just been like, hey, like I feel like something is off. But like I said, I wasn't giving grace to myself because I just assumed that everyone was mad at me and hated me for some reason. And I didn't like, I like beat myself up over it. And I shouldn't have, because that's not my problem, because no one came to me and like said anything. And then when push came to shove and I did like confront the group and, had to leave the friend group, and one person did like come out and say like, yeah, this was going on. And I was like proven right. That like did sting. And to find out that I really didn't do anything wrong. There was like some things where like, oh, this was said, this was said. I'm like, oh, like, why didn't you guys say that? Like, I'm sorry that that I did that, or that like that this happened. Like, if anyone would have just said something to me, I would have like one, either like apologized for it, or two, like I would have told you like, no, that's not what was meant to happen or whatever. And then there was, like I said, like the parts where my personality was picked apart according to what this person said. Now, I don't know if all of it is true. It's not like I got the whole group's opinion or whatever. But after, like, I left the friend group, and even after that conversation, like, instead of, like, letting it go and, like, giving myself time to heal, like, I just, like, hung on to it like it was, like, I don't know, candy. Because I do love some candy. But I like hung on to that, and I didn't give it the time. I just kept trying to be like, well, I can't, blah, blah, blah. Like, I hate them. I hate myself for letting this happen. And it's like, it was completely out of my control. Sometimes you can't control like how others think of you, even if you like show them a side of you that you think is good. Like, even if you like show the best parts of yourself to someone, like it doesn't always mean they're going to like it. And I wish like I said, I just wish I gave myself the grace to fully understand that. Because I totally didn't. I just assumed that if I was nice and that if I was just like happy all the time, even if I wasn't, then everyone was just going to like me. And that's the thing. It's like, no, I have to like look within myself and see what parts do I like? What parts do I need to improve on? And how do I make myself better? I would go back in time and change that mindset of, oh, well, I'm just going to be happy all the time and everyone's going to like me. No, I didn't give myself grace to be human. I didn't give myself a, what's the right word? I didn't give myself like leeway to being imperfect, because that's what we are. We are imperfect beings living in this beautiful world, and there's so much darkness in it, but there's also light. And it's just unfortunate sometimes that we focus on all of the hard stuff rather than, focusing on how the hard stuff will make us better. And that's, once again, that's like easier said than done. I know that doesn't always, work for every scenario. But at least for this one, I'm grateful for the mindset I once had, because now I can understand that that was a toxic way of thinking, that if you're just happy all the time, that people will like you. Oh, that was purr. LOL. Okay, so real quick side note. I was like, Persephone, which do you want to do the intro or the ending? And I didn't hear anything because I'm really impatient. And even though I just like texted this like a half hour ago, and I just don't have a lot of time. And I was like, okay, I'll just tell Purr that I'm going to do the intro. It's fine. Well, Persephone just texted me and she's like, I was thinking about that and I don't mind doing the ending. Oh my God, we are two peas in a pod. I'm literally about to text her that I'm already doing the intro. I will do that after this is done though, because I don't want to waste time. So that's how I would change the past. But it's not like, it's hard because even to say like change the past, I just think it would have made it easier if I just didn't care. But I think that's just what makes me human, is that I do care. So going back in time to ask myself to not care about a situation, I just wish I like handled some of that better, for myself. There was nothing, it like all of that was out of my control. And I don't even care that I'm talking about this on here because guess what? I can. It was like 4 years ago and I don't speak to any of them and they don't speak to me and I'm not mad about it anymore, not salty. I just think college was like a huge like time period of growth where I like when I went into high school, I was like completely different than the person who walked out of the college doors. I was not the same person. But I had to heal a lot after college. That's not the only thing that like I had gone through. I know all of us go through a lot of stuff in college and we go through trials and we go through struggles and we have successes, but we also have failures. And I think that would just be one thing I would change, is to have more grace. Because I had scenarios where it's like, I just beat myself up too much. I can't say much about the future. I worry a lot about it. I think if I were a time traveler and I could go to the future, I think I would just want to be happy. Of course, have some money, and I want to be doing what I love, which is making arts, music, films, acting. It's a hard industry to break into, and that's why I'm just doing my own thing, because you can go on several auditions and still not hear a single thing. So I just kind of got sick and tired of waiting. But that also, I want to, like, my hopes for the future is that, like, I don't lose sight on what's beautiful in life as well. Because I think in this present moment right now is like I'm too go, 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 go. I got to get this done. I got to get this done. And I think, not even think, this is like what has started to spiral the anxiety that I've been having the past couple months. Is just I've been too focused on one thing, and then I would be focused on another thing, and then another thing, and then another thing, and then another thing, without just like taking a breath and going, dude, you have time. Because I know in the future, like everything that's meant to happen for me is going to be there and is already there. I just haven't hit that point yet, and that's okay. And so in the future, I just want to, be happy and have the life that was meant for me, because I can't tell you how my future's going to look. When I was like in high school or elementary school or college, I could have told you what my life would have looked like. But newsflash, in every single one of those time periods, what I wanted was different every single time. So I think that's funny. I think all of us humans think we have it together, but our minds and thoughts are constantly changing. The people we meet are changing. The opportunities we receive and experiences we have keep changing. And I think that's the only constant thing about life, is that it's just changing all the time. So I'm just here for the ride, and I'm just going to do the best I can to have the life that I want and desire for myself, but also with the knowledge of it might not go the way that I planned, and learning to accept that as well. But to not like use that as an excuse of giving up, if that makes sense. Still, going for what I want with, career, friendships, family, with God, like all of that. Like it might not be the straight path. It might be this rocky road, or it might be like hills and valleys and loop-de-loops and all of the above. And I might have to do one thing to learn this thing, and, paths and stuff could just cross. And then I'll look back and be like, oh, I understand why this had to happen, why this had to happen, and this had to happen. And, the list could go on. I'm sure all of us realize that, though. But, I'm just in my I'm a 25-year-old girl, and I'm still trying to figure things out. Woo! Yeah, it's fun. Sometimes. Most of the time. We're here. We're doing the thing. Trying our best. And I'm giving myself grace. Trying to. Trying not to be a robot, and trying to not let what others' opinions about me affect me. And try not to, judge others based on their actions. It's hard sometimes. I can be a judgmental person. I can admit that. I think all of us can, though. And so I think that pretty much answers the question. So I am going to pass the baton hello. I am going to pass the baton over to Persephone, good old Per, and I'm sure she's going to have a beautiful insight on what she would envision her life to be, or what she would change in her past. So, Per, take it away, Queen.
Hi, everyone. So, welcome to Bestie Therapy. Sorry. I'm just a little, I guess, reactive or shocked right now, because I recorded my whole segment of basically this show, and then I realized that the recording was connected to my headphones, and so only my headphones pick up the audio, and it sounds horrible, so we're just redoing it. We're fine. You know what? That is life. It sometimes happens like that. I'm only freaking out because I have work, which means I have to get ready. And I was going to use this time again. You know what? It happens. That's just what life is about. But, welcome to Bestie Therapy. It's me, Persephone, back from Patty. If you do not know that reference, then baby, you are way too young to be listening to this podcast. Okay, I'm sorry, sweetie, I'm sorry. But that reference was from Sweet Life, Zach and Cody, which thank you, London Tipton, for saying that. But great show if you guys ever are on Disney or Disney Plus. However, life, let's start with a little bit of life updates, my friends. Nothing big, nothing. Well, baby, I wish I had something big. Let me be quiet, because you know. Ooh, but no, I've been good. A lot of, we already know, like, this week, a lot of it has been like mindset stuff, like stuff working on like that. But I feel like this whole week, like, just with everything I've been, like, listening to and reading, like, you ever just have the universe basically tell you, like, hey, when we already spoke about this on podcast, so if I'm repeating myself, sorry, not sorry. But, like, basically, the universe, I feel like, is telling me, like, hey, you need to change. And, hey, you should do this to change. And, like, my first reaction is like, okay, yeah, I know I need to do that. Or, I'll do it later. I just don't have time right now, but, I can do it tomorrow, blah, 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 blah. And the universe, I feel like, is like, okay, you say you're going to do it, but no, we're actually going to force you to change. So, sorry, not sorry. Here you go. And I love that. The universe, God, whoever does that. Because, like, baby, sometimes you ever just feel so burnt out with, like, growth, and you're like, babe, I don't want to do anymore. I just done it already. And the universe is like, okay, I know, but there's still more ish to go through. So chop, chop, snappy, snappy. Let's do it. So that has been that. And then mostly this week, I've also been, like, writing on my stories, and I think, girly pop, I want this to be the end. I want this to be done. I want this to be the highest that my stories can go, like, creatively wise, because you ever just get so many ideas and you're like, babe, stop. I can't write all of these. But no, because that's just, your mind is magical, so embrace the magic. And so that's what I'm doing. I've been, like, gathering everything that I need to, and this area of my life is such an area for growth. Like, that is what this year is about, growing and realizing the person who I want to be. So we love that for us. So that's been basically been having all week. This week, Riley and I filmed part of her short film with our friend Lucas, who's also directing it. I went out with some friends. Hey Jazzy, hey Steph. Like, we went to, like, a little tarot thing and a little crystal shop. It was fun. And then I had dinner with the parents, and so it was an eventful week. But you ever just feel like, nah, you do so much. And, like, don't get me wrong, I love being, like, out and about and a social butterfly, but sometimes I need to, like, stay inside and do my have a little me time. So I'm trying to find a balance between that too. So we're gonna figure that out. But, like, sometimes you figure out, like, I gotta work more because of bills, so we're just figuring that out too. But it's a lot of figuring stuff out in life, but I'm okay with that. But let's talk about our actual topic today, which is, like, basically our topic is if you could go back in time and change one thing, what would it be? And I guess this question's open-ended, like, you can change one thing in history, but for me, I, like, related it to my life. Like, what is one thing in my life that I would change? And there are, I don't want to say unfortunately, but there are a lot of things I would change in my life just because, and this is, like, surface level stuff, just because I'm not where I want to be yet. However, a lot of that surface level stuff, I think I also wouldn't want to change, because all that stuff made me into the person I am today. And I love that for me. And I don't know, I'm thankful for that. So I think if I had to change one thing, it would have to be something deeper. And there was a lot of things that I was thinking, like, I'm like, oh, what if I changed my transness? Like, what if I changed it where I was born a cis person? Because sometimes those thoughts do come in my head, like, oh, life would be so much easier if I was a cis person. But no, I don't think I would have even gotten out of my religious, I guess, my religious conditioned mindset if I wasn't part of the queer community. So I'm so glad that when I was younger that like I thought I was gay and then I figured out that I was trans, because in that way it really brought me out of that I guess mind controlled environment. So I'm very happy about that. So I don't think I would change that, even though there are days where I want to. I don't think I would change that. I How do I say this? I think if I could go back in time, I would either go to my like 8-year-old, 10-year-old version of myself, or like my 18, 17-year-old version of myself, and tell them to first of all love themselves. Because growing up, we were never allowed, well, at least I was never allowed to be the person I wanted to be or express who I was or any like that. So it made me start to hate myself and who I was. So I will tell myself, first of all, love yourself, but also to have some freaking confidence, because in high school, I was the most confident person ever. Like, social anxiety was afraid of me. But like, besides theater and like besides like theater and singing and acting and stuff, I was so introverted and shy. A lot of it was like, I guess, genetic or upbringing, because I did have I guess parental figures in my life who were who were anxious, and so that played a part of it. But then also tell them to just do the darn thing and just to go for it, especially my 18-year-old version of myself. Because like when I was like that post high school, like that college age area, I definitely wanted to like basically learn more music and learn more about acting and stuff like that. But I didn't, because I didn't believe in myself. And then I also had people in my life who told me, oh, you can't do this, you can't make money doing this, you're not good enough, so why even try? So I didn't try, and that hindered me as an artist, as a creator, so much, because that is not who I am. I wasn't allowed to express who I was. So I would tell my younger self to keep on pursuing the arts, and while you can't, well, especially while you're like young in your 20s, because that would have helped me way more in life. But and then I would also tell them not to believe what other people say, because whether we like it or not, other people's words do condition us. Sometimes for the good, but a lot of times for the worse. And I try to live up to so many people's expectations for me growing up. Like I tried to be the most holiest person and the I guess the most unemotional, strongest alpha male. And if you know me like that, is so not me. Like, I am not some masculine little, oh, I'm gonna do this, blah 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 blah. Like, no, I am I'm dainty and wimpy, and I like feminine things, and I like to like wear dresses, and I like all this other stuff, and I like to be loud and crazy and not quiet. And I'm sorry if people don't like. No, I'm not sorry if people don't like. If you don't like it, shut up. Get over it. Like, who cares? And so I just wish I could tell that little girl just to love herself and just be out loud and proud. Because, baby, the only person's opinion that matters of you is yourself. So I would definitely change that. I know I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent, but these past few years have just been like, we've been learning to like love ourselves. And there are days where, yes, we talk about it a lot, but there are days where it's actually really hard sometimes. Like, I was at work last week, the other day, and in person, I just don't pass as a, I don't pass, and that's okay. And I'm learning to be okay with that. However, and if you don't know what passing is, it's like, basically it's for trans people, basically. And passing means that when people look at you, they can't automatically tell you're trans. I know that's a whole topic, blah, 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 blah. But for me, for the future, don't get me wrong, I love my transness, but sometimes I just want people to see me and just to see a woman and not even think about what's in between my legs. Because, baby, it's none of your business. So, where was I going with this? I totally forgot. Give me a minute. Sorry, guys. Frick, I lost my points. Riley, I'm sorry. If you're listening to this, keep this in the podcast because it's funny. It's funny. But, well, I lost that point. But I think I know where I was going. But I think it's just basically, I was saying, I would, just the, when you're doing the inner work, you're learning to love yourself. But, oh yeah, there are days where, like, you don't love yourself, unfortunately. And let's just say at work, sometimes, not people I work with, but sometimes other people let's just say they don't treat me the best because of who I am. And I've never really been bullied like that before, so I'm just learning to not get. I'm learning to handle it and deal with it. Let's just say that. But the other day I came home and I just went into my bed and cried. And like, I just like let out so many emotions because people can be mean. Let's just say that. And after, like, the old me, this is why I'm like, the old me would have just stayed in bed all day, cried, probably not would have eaten, I wouldn't even drink any water or anything. I would just be, miserable and sulk in my sadness. However, the new me, this is why I'm so thankful for growth and mindset and everything. I didn't do that. I got out of bed. I like felt my feelings, felt my emotions, got out of my bed and realized, okay, there's nothing you can do to change the past. All you can do is change the present and change the future. So you can change your present so it can change your future. So I just got out of bed and did what I need to and like did some self-care things that I know would make you feel better. And babe, I felt better. I guess one of the things I would go back and change is my younger self's mindset, like my teenage mindset and my little kid mindset. Because now when we talk about mindset in years now, people are like, oh my gosh, I love mindset, I love meditation, I love tarot, I love well-being, mindless well-being, blah blah blah, stuff like that. And that's cool, but growing up, no one ever talked about it. If we even mentioned meditation, people were like, oh, you're worshiping the devil. And it's like, no, babe, I'm just quieting my mind. Like, like, I'm literally just trying to work on myself and be the best version of myself I can be. So your opinion does not matter right now. So I basically, I would just tell my younger self to work on their mind, because thoughts, feelings, all this stuff is going to come up, and it's our job to basically learn how to deal with those so we can so we can just get through it, and that's the human experience. And one thing I felt like this whole week was telling me was like, regulate your nervous system, like learn how to regulate that, whether that be through chakra, somatic work, stuff like that. Like this week has been telling me to regulate my nervous system. And I was like putting on back burner, like, yes, I know I need to work on that, but I will later, or I don't even know what that means, so I'm not even going to look into it. Like, what? But no, like, you ever feel like everything you do is telling you a message? Like, whether it was like through my TikTok or Insta feed or something I was like watching on TV, they mentioned like nervous system. Like, hey, you just got to regulate your nervous system or work on your nervous system. I'm like, babe, y'all are... universe, spirit, it loud and clear. I hear you. Thank you very much. I got you. I got the message. So it's been a lot of that, but just work on your mindset. Like that's what I wish I could tell my person, because if I could control my thoughts and feelings as a younger person, my life would be so different now. And it makes sense on why I am the way I am, and like why my life is the way it is, because for so long, I didn't have the confidence or believe that I was worthy of changing. So I never did, and let other people control who I was and who I thought I was and think. And so I felt like a lot of my 20s was just me living for other people, but now like I want to live for me. And so basically what I'm saying is I wasted a lot of my 20s just letting other people control who I am and how I act. So I would codes back to myself, like, don't let other people control what you think or how you feel learn how to do that yourself and how to believe in yourself. Because, baby, the only person that's ever going to believe it is going to be your number one cheerleader is you. So learn how to be that cheerleader, learn how to have confidence, learn how to work in your mind and get yourself out of those ruts and follow your dreams. That's also I would tell Megan. So like, just go for it. It's going to be scary. It's going to be hard. Just be confident. I wish I had so much confidence as a younger person, because now I am more of a confident person, but younger me, if you knew me in high school, I was not a confident person. So I would change a lot about myself, I guess. If I could change one thing, I would just change my mind. But I'm okay with who I am today, because everything, my gayness, my transness, my mistreatment, my religious trauma upbringing, like everything made me into the person I am today. And I am thankful for that, because the person I am today is someone who loves herself, who is learning to love herself, who is confident. Sometimes she's not, but sometimes she is, and that's okay. And I don't need to be confident all the time. She is someone who is learning to love herself. So that I would go back in time and do that, and also tell her thank you, and that I love her. Oh gosh, I'm getting emotional. I would say that I would love her because she is a great spirit and a great being, and she deserves the world. So yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to get a little emotional at the end, but thank you guys so much for listening. Email us at bestietherapy gmail.com. Follow us on Insta. But thank you guys for this ride. And I know we're doing a split episode. Sometimes we have to do that just because sometimes me and Riley don't have time to see each other. But we're doing a darn thing. And remember to embrace the rain and be the sunshine, my loves. Bye.